A powerful night in Hollywood. The 2018 Golden Globes getting off to a pointed start. Stars walking the red carpet dressed in black. Host Seth Meyers diving headfirst into the theme of the evening, Time's Up.
Well, I think it's time to address the elephant not in the room. Harvey Weinstein isn't here tonight.
But it was his quip about a possible 2020 presidential ticket that sparked a social media frenzy, using reverse psychology on Oprah Winfrey.
I just want to say, Oprah, you will never be president.
Meyers playing off his jabs at Donald Trump from the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2011 that might have played into now President Trump's decision to run. The levity Sunday night later followed by this poignant moment. Winfrey accepting the Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award, the first African-American woman to receive the honor. In that only Oprah can way, the mogul delivering a captivating message.
So I want all the girls watching here and now to know that a new day is on the horizon.
The internet immediately abuzz with endorsements, the hashtag She's Running surpassing 1 million mentions. Well, despite the public urging, Oprah has said repeatedly in the past that she will not run for president, even calling her decision definitive. Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
CES, a consumer electronics show, kicks off tomorrow right here in Las Vegas. With the large crowds and heavy traffic, organizers say you can also expect extra security. For the first time this year, CES is encouraging people attending to download the Live Safe app. The app helps crews pinpoint a person's exact location should there be an emergency. And a reminder, CES is not open to the general public. And now to a new push to make sure Las Vegas remains a top destination for conventions like CES. 13 Action News reporter Marissa Kinnison explains what is being done to keep us competitive.
Just a couple summers ago, we all watched as the historic Riviera was imploded right here behind me. But now it's time for something new here. Today, the Las Vegas Convention Center will start its $1.4 billion expansion and will take over the former Riviera Resort. This is what it will look like when it's all done. This expansion will mean more exhibition space, more meeting rooms, more bandwidth, and more internet hotspots. And the convention center will now stretch to Las Vegas Boulevard. The expansion is expected to make Las Vegas more competitive when bringing large conventions to town. Major conventions like CES were requesting upgrades or said they'd leave to other cities like New York or San Francisco. Now, this phase of the project is expected to be completed in the next couple years. Marissa Kinnison, 13 Action News.
Coming up, a young boy is using his birthday to give back to the community. Later in the newscast, we'll tell you how you can help.
Plus, local deputies arrest 2 people in connection to animal abuse. This is after a number of dogs were found emaciated. And remember, Chopper 13 is always bringing you breaking news fast and first. Stay with us.
Nye County Sheriff's deputies have arrested 2 people in connection with animal abuse and neglect in Pahrump. Authorities say that Keith Holman and Kristen Pfaff were arrested in Clark County last week. A child was found with them and is currently in protective custody. In December, they found several emaciated dogs at the couple's home in Pahrump. Narcotics were also found at the property. The suspects now face a number of charges.
Right now, an active search after a man was stabbed last night. Officers were called out to the Siegel Suites near MLK and Bonanza. Police say the victim may have been stabbed by more than one person after some sort of a disagreement. Witnesses told police they saw an armed man running from the scene. That was before officers arrived. The good news, the victim is expected to survive.
And police have charged a Valley man they say is responsible for shooting and killing his estranged wife. They were called out to the Herbst Market at Fort Apache and Desert Inn on Saturday night. Investigators say Abibi Tarefi walked into the store and shot the woman several times before turning the gun on himself. He's currently in critical condition and his estranged wife died on the scene. Police tell us the couple was married but had been separated for months.
We have all heard that it is bad to be attached to your phone. Coming up, what 2 Apple investors are now saying about that risk after a new study claims that iPhones are toxic for kids.
Plus, the deep freeze finally thawing out along the East Coast and in the South, but people need to enjoy those warming temperatures now because another cold blast could be headed their way. major Apple investors say the iPhone is toxic for children, and they want Apple to do two things. They want them to figure out a way for parents to limit kids' access, and two, research how being glued to our phones actually impacts mental health. Shareholders Jana Partners LLC and the California State Teachers Retirement System wrote this letter this weekend. It said addressing the issue would help long-term value for investors.
Ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft are the target of a new controversial ad campaign.
Shall we?
The ad starring Pamela Anderson, as you saw, warns users about the alleged dangers of using these apps. It suggests users, quote, think before you app. The ads are being sponsored by the National Limousine Association, and they compete directly with companies like Uber and Lyft. A spokesperson for Lyft calls the ads misleading, and Uber notes that it does take precautions to promote safety. Over the decades, the Ford F-150 has had updates, design changes, and the record for best-selling U.S. vehicle for the last 41 years. But the one thing that it has never had is a diesel engine, until now. Ford announced a diesel engine option for the F-150, saying it will give the truck an estimated rating of 30 miles per gallon. Customers will be able to place orders for the diesel F-150s later this month, and the deliveries are going to start in the springtime. And now to a heartwarming story. A boy is inviting all of Boulder City to his birthday party, but he says he does not want a gift for himself.
Yeah, Parker Collins shows us what he wants from us instead.
The dogs and the cats at the Boulder City Animal Control Shelter are adorable.
I like the big dogs because they're big and fluffy and soft. And then I like the little kittens because they're soft and fluffy too.
Calvin is turning 11 soon. Instead of gifts for his birthday, he's asking people bring donations for the shelter. Talking about giving his special day away, he's completely matter of fact.
I get a lot of cool things for Christmas, and I have plenty of things to keep me entertained.
Calvin's mom says her son came up with this idea on his own.
Not many kids his age would give up their birthday for other people or species. He's one of a kind.
She's a single mom and works 2 jobs. Paying everyone back who has helped her family would be impossible. So she's over the moon her son is paying it forward.
My kids are everything, and to see them do things like this, it's very rewarding.
Every dog may have its day, but Calvin is giving his day to these animals, and it's something that everyone is invited to. Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
What an adorable little boy.
And now let's check in with 13 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brian Schofield.
About time, huh?
Rain, finally.
Yeah, finally.
Right. Let me show you a time lapse from today, just to give you an idea of what's brewing. Look at that. It took a while to get those clouds in here, but they did. Maybe some of you folks just woke up to that. You know, that's not impressive as many time lapses you see with big showers going across the valley. We might have one of those in for tomorrow. It's been pretty light, and that's enough to make it dangerous on the roads, as you know. But there you go, just kind of cruising across the sky there. Take a look at what's doing right now. Just still beautiful shots. A lot of you folks love rain. I keep getting tweets from those who don't. We have big arms for all kinds of people who just love it and don't love it. It's okay, but you can see the slickness out there right now, so that's what we're going to contend with for the remainder of the evening. There'll be some heavier showers, but that big stuff comes in for tomorrow. But take a look at the snow levels. We're talking about a winter storm warning, but it doesn't really start until tomorrow morning. Snow levels down to about 7,000 feet. That'll have, maybe 6 to 12 inches. We'll see them up a little higher, and they could get down a little lower than 7,000, but they won't have the heavier snow that we're talking about. Generally looking right there, wet snow, obviously, there could be tree damage. So there's some warnings to take heed to when you're headed into the upper elevations. And of course, we'll have a crew up there just keeping our eyes on it and tracking it hour by hour for you for tomorrow. But there's your SATRAD, your 13 First Alert SATRAD. That's a big, massive rain right there. Finally seeing it through the area. Get closer in and you'll see we're getting some breaks and then some bouts of some heavier stuff right into there. It looks like the mountains, at least the higher peaks, you're getting the snow already, but the heavier stuff will come in for tomorrow. But once again, we get a little bit break and you can see what's coming in. Those aren't thunderstorms, all that yellow you're seeing right there. That's just some heavier showers across the valley. So here's what it looks like as far as our futurecast goes. We'll get the next 12 hours. You can see spotty through the evening hours and then some bigger showers. Then we'll get a little bit of a break by later on this evening. And then after that break, it'll start to come in again. We'll see the bulk of it start to swing through. And that's exactly what you'll see right there. Be impressive to see the rest of it for tomorrow, because that's what will add us up to, maybe could be a half an inch or even more in some areas. So we'd like to see that. Certainly the valley could use that. We're not necessarily talking flooding right now, but if anything changes, we'll certainly give you updates on that. Tracking it for tomorrow, not so much for Wednesday, except maybe early Wednesday, and then beyond that, we dry out for the remainder of the week, and we throw back in those 60s because we're getting a little break from those 60s and I hope enjoying those 50s. All right, back to you guys.
Thanks, Brian. And now to the